and good afternoon, and welcome to Williams Island TV. It's been a while since we brought all the updates to you, but we're very excited because now with COVID finally coming down a little bit, we can open up the spa, we can open up the restaurants a little bit more, we open up the island, and we can start getting back to whatever the new norm is. That being said, though, please, caution is so important. And we will talk later on about some of the policy changes that we have had. But with all the new things happening on the island and some of the changes, and especially with the hurricane preparedness coming up, I thought it would be best to introduce you to each department head that's going to be affected by what's going on now and let them give us an update on what they will be doing. So first and foremost, I'd like to introduce you to Carrie Griffith, who runs our spa and our haberdashery and all our clothing supplies for everything here on the island. And as we're walking in here today, I heard how successful the sales of clothing has been and all the options. So tell us a little about that. What do you think it is that's caused all this, let's say, this great sales?
Excitement?
Yes.
I think we have been very careful on what vendors we've been bringing into the spa and into tennis. So the tennis has become just a regular pro shop, but we try to bring in the latest trends for the women and for the men. And also within the spa, we're doing the same thing. So I think, you know, we changed the tennis over the time of COVID, and the members seem to be really liking it. They give us suggestions. We try to work with them, and it's been very successful. Tennis in particular has really taken
Now, let me ask you, can they use their minimum for any of these items?
Yes, they can.
So,
yes, they can. Yeah.
See, that's important because we do have a lot of people, unfortunately, who couldn't get here for the year. And now that they're down here and it's halfway through the year, so we do want to let you know you can use your minimum not only for the items, but for services within the spa, items obviously in the food, items purchased in the tennis complex, etc. So I think that's very important. Mm-hmm. Tell us all the exciting things that are happening in the spa. I know that's what you really want to talk about.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so I brought our flyers with us just to show you, but we have the Venus Freeze machine. And despite its name, Venus Freeze, it is actually a radio frequency heat treatment to stimulate collagen, whether it's on your face, whether it's on the neck, the décolleté, the back of the arms. And so over the course of, let's say, 6 to 8 sessions, you will see a difference in your skin by, again, stimulating the collagen, which we start to lose at the age of 30. And so as we stimulate the collagen, it takes away the fine lines and wrinkles, and your skin looks more youthful. So that's really exciting. Cindy is here on Tuesday and Fridays from 10 to 6, and we're happy to talk to you about the treatments. We have brochures. We have a special, which is called a Glow to Go. So you purchase one treatment and you get your second treatment for free. So that's a really great deal.
And I saw the machine because I was here the other day having Pilates, and
Right.
she was in the lobby with her. So it is quite an exciting process. And I understand you've tried it already?
I have. I've tried it 3 times.
And?
I do feel like I see a difference. I'm doing my neck. And I mean, even after the first time, the next day, I really felt like the heat from within. And, you know, to my eyes, I see a difference.
So there would be something that would help me then.
Bob, you need no help. You need no help.
Oh, you're too kind. What's happening with the classes now? I mean, now that we're starting to lift a little bit of the requirements, what have you done differently in terms of the numbers, et cetera?
So the numbers have increased to 12 for the indoor classes. The spin class outside is 10. And we are doing some outside cycle classes, some inside cycle classes, because some people are still kind of on the fence, and also they just love the outdoor cycle. So those will continue. The indoor classes, again, have expanded to 12, but you still need to sign up on the My Wellness app 48 hours in advance for all classes except for the pool classes. Those sign-up procedures have stayed the same. And you can find all the information on the website, on the QR codes, or you can just call the front desk, and we're happy to help you with any of those items.
And just to remind everybody, in terms of mask usage pertaining to the spa, What it will be is all the instructors, at least through the July 4th weekend, and then we reevaluate every month, will be required to wear a mask. Those coming into the spa will be at the discretion of the individual, whether or not they want to wear one. However, the instructors, if they're doing any kind of an aerobics class or teaching, such as cycling, etc., will not be wearing a mask for the class because it's almost impossible for them to breathe properly. But employees will wear masks in the spa. It's discretionary to the resident whether or not you want to wear one. And then come July, we'll reevaluate that as well. But I think the numbers, as you said, we're increasing the people in the classes, opening up the rooms more. And so far, has it helped?
Oh, yes, yes. It's been wonderful to not be the police of the masks. And the members couldn't be more thrilled. Some are still wearing their masks. Some are still being very cautious, which is, within their own comfort level. So, but you can feel this sense of like a little bit of a relief that you don't have to come in and work out with a mask, which I know is very difficult to do. But the members have been fantastic.
Now, we have the biostation, which we're putting together now, and it should be coming online hopefully by the fall. We'll start, most likely construction will begin in the next 60 days. But tell us again, for those that missed it, what will be exciting about, because it's going to be a very innovative program that's going in there.
Okay, so the biostation has been a project of mine for several years, and it was to obtain a med spa within our spa. So having medical oversight in order to have treatments that are beyond the spa's licensing. So the biostation is the name of the med spa. They come into spas, resorts. They also have freestanding sites like in Midtown and Delray. And they offer all kinds of med spa services.
To go into more detail of this, obviously there's a menu of various items that they have to offer. But this is really important because it goes along with the exercise, it goes along with the Pilates, the weight training, the cycling. This is the nutritional side of it. It's the inside, not the outside.
Correct.
So specifically a little bit, what would be some of the menu items that they will be offering our residents?
The menu items are IV therapy for your immune system. It'll be sexual issues for male and female, hormone replacement therapy, aesthetics, meaning possibly Botox fillers, body sculpting with the higher end medical devices, the machines. So it's all of that within one area. So it's more of the wellness component from the inside out.
So it's the chemistry part of the medicine.
Yes.
But I think it's important to stress that at all times there will be medical supervision on site when any of this goes on, any treatments you have. But I would suggest contact Carrie, because even so we may not be open here for a few months. They could start the program or get an idea about it by going to some of their other locations, which they have, one in Midtown, one at the Caroline Hotel, there's one up in Boca, depending on the convenience of where you are. But the beauty of that is you could meet with them, talk to them, have a consultation with them now. And I'm sure we could work something out that if you tell them you're from Williams Island, they'd be more than happy to meet with you, give you some ideas as to what it is you'll be doing with them. And then when they move in here, continue with your program. So this is really the chemistry side of the physical.
Right.
Yeah,
right.
It's very exciting, and it's something Carrie's been working on for a long time. This will be going on. We're putting it into the massage area downstairs, so it'll be totally private. People have no idea what's going on with you. It's your private little time, but I think it's a very important component, and today it's so prominent.
Yes.
I mean, it's not like this is some new science. This has been going on for quite a while, and we just feel, as Carrie suggested to us, it's a continuation of taking care of your health and fitness of your whole body.
Absolutely.
So what else do we have going on?
We have summer camp. Thank you very much.
Okay.
So you'll also see this flyer. It starts next week, Monday, June 14th. For the spa, it is an 8-week program. It's all day from 9 to 3, and then we also have academic help from 3 to 4:30. So your child can actually stay from 9 to 4:30 if you wanted that extra academic portion. You know, this last year has been really tough on kids, and maybe they need that extra help as they enter the new school year, or they need help on SAT or prep or ACT. But we're very excited about our summer program. We're going to have arts and crafts, swimming, music, art, and then every Friday we're going to focus on an environmental issue, whether it's solar energy, maybe it's something to do with the manatees, learning about the manatees that are in our area. Pelican Harbor, the safety Pelican Harbor, is going to come out with their ambassadors, their animal ambassadors, and talk to the kids about the wildlife in the area. So we have a whole summer planned. Please contact our spa front desk for all information. And again, it does start next Monday. So we're very excited about that.
Now, one quick question. I know that tennis has tennis camp as well.
Yes.
How does it incorporate with each other? Is there a connection to the two?
Well, there can be. So our timing is exactly the same from 9 to 3. There is a lunch break in the middle. But if you wanted to do half day in spa and then you wanted to do your second half of the day in tennis or vice versa, you can do that. We've aligned our activities so you can flip and flop between the two so your child can have the best of both worlds.
Great, great. And what else?
Okay, yeah, I know. We've been really busy. We're
You
so happy
have
to be
been.
open. Yes.
I know, it's exciting. Finally.
So you also see this. We have poolside cabana massages, either single or couple massages in the cabana. We have a mister, we have fans. So even though I know it's very hot outside, if you want to have a massage, we just require a 24-hour reservation. Just again, call the spa front desk and we'll set you up with a poolside cabana massage.
And now you know why we call Carrie the Energizer Bunny, because this is just a sample of what we have in just 1 month. But it is exciting what we've done, and what you have done there is amazing. But it's really for the island, and that's what we've tried to create. And Carrie has tried to create something in the spa for everybody. And I think if you utilize it, you'll find it's not just weights, it's not just classes, it's not just Pilates, it's a little of everything, but it is a true total health and fitness center. So Carrie, I can't thank you enough. It's been great hearing from you, and we look forward to your bio station and all your massages and everything else you're working on.
All right,
Thank you so much. Well, we just heard from Carrie, and obviously that's all the exciting, fun things that are happening on the island. But we have to get serious because we all know, unfortunately, that come June, it's hurricane season until November. And the island gets turned over to our security staff because they're here to keep us safe throughout the entire season. And who better to tell us what is going to be going on right now but Dan O'Connell, who heads up security. And also his job is to keep us all safe, all 5,000 of us. So Dan, tell us a little about what the preparedness would be coming up for the hurricane season, obviously, because it is a reality that we all have to deal with.
It is, and I heard us talking about the new normal, and I'm certainly hoping that the new normal isn't the same amount of storms we had last year, this year, although the hurricane forecasters are still calling for a busy season this year. But in our role in the WIPOA, we've already started our preparations. And part of those preparations are working with our landscaping team to start thinning out our landscaping, especially our trees right now. For those of you that may have been here in 2005, Wilma took down a lot of trees, keeping those trees thinned, pruned, to make sure that not only do they withstand hurricane season, but now our rainy season has started as well too. So we get those summertime storms that blow through here. And that's critical that we make sure that our landscaping can withstand that, because part of it is to maintain our lifeblood, which is our roadways. And we need to make sure that those roadways are available to us pre-storm and post-storm. CJ and his team with the facilities department is also making sure that all of our storm drains are cleared out as well too, because for those of you that have been here for a few years, you've seen some of the floods on the island take place. Those storm drains are also critical to make sure that those roadways stay open for us at all times as well too.
So let me ask you, in terms of the buildings themselves, obviously, if there's a hurricane warning of any kind, it's critical that they clear the patios off on these upper buildings, right?
Right. Many of our residents are getting ready to leave now, and we're going to ask them for their help, because one of the most stressful periods for our building managers is when a storm is threatening us, is getting all those patio decks cleared from those residents who may have left for the season. So we ask for our residents to give us a hand, Help us clear those patio decks before you leave, secure your storm shutters, and even if you're going away for maybe a long weekend or a 2-week stretch, clear what you can off those patio decks to help us.
Yeah.
Which is really very key, very important. It takes a tremendous amount of staff to clear those patio decks.
And one of the points that Dan brought up was the access to get on and off the island. And one of the things I think you've noticed with the construction that's going on, we had the city and the county reverse the direction of 183rd Street. So it's now where you can leave the island going westbound versus having a problem getting out of the island. And that was done primarily because we want to make sure in case of any issues, you could get off the island and get out of the area if there's an evacuation called for. The other issue is I know there's been a lot of concern what's going to happen when the road work is demolished and we have to start putting in new water sewer pipes on our island. Not to be concerned because we have 2 lanes in and 2 lanes out.
Correct.
So at all times, we will always have 2 lanes available, 1 in and 1 out throughout the entire summer. Just to clarify also that when they talked about having a year of this project, that was not just here, that was the entire project, which encompasses quite a bit of other areas. But hopefully we will be done with 183rd Street in the next 3, 4, 5 weeks, the most. We'll come onto the island, and by the fall, we should be done with all of this work, and we can get back to normal. But during the hurricane season, we will always have traffic open in both directions, and that'll make a big difference to the access.
Huge. Absolutely.
The other thing, I think, what Dan has done is you have an arrangement with the city, the police department, and the buildings all have a contact
Yes.
at the department. So if people are in these apartments and they want to make sure the police know there's somebody in the building at that time during, and because they can't evacuate, if you notify Dan and you notify the building managers, they will assure the police know about residents that couldn't leave, so they have access to help if need be. Could you
Correct.
explain a little bit how that works?
Well, and Miami-Dade County, through their 311 system, does reach out and alerts residents. And the concierges are also very good at making sure that their residents know that if they're immobile and they cannot leave the property, they can sign up with Miami-Dade County. And Miami-Dade County will put them on file in the event that they need assistance with evacuation. But then also in our buildings, we will always keep a list. So if a storm is threatening us, an evacuation is called for. Many of our residents, unfortunately, don't leave. They don't. But we will keep a list of those residents that are staying here on property. And with that being said, it's critical that right now our residents are getting prepared for the hurricane season, making sure they have extra water, extra medications, and so forth, extra pet food in that respect, because you're going to need to be self-sufficient for up to 5 days, as I like to say with that.
Yes.
So, but we will work with Miami-Dade County, Aventura Police Department, through our building managers and the concierges to make sure that we know who's here on property.
That's great. So what other suggestions would you have for the people, unfortunately, during the hurricane season?
Well, a lot of people ask me, should I stay or should I go, Dan? And I always say to them, that depends on your storm shutters. I would always advise, if you can get out of town, get out of town. But does that mean going over to Fort Myers or going to Orlando? You never know where a hurricane's going to end up in that respect. The buildings have withstood many a hurricane here, but I can tell you, like with Wilma, many patios were blown out because people did not have proper storm shutters or proper windows or patio doors to protect that. So that's something that you do need to look at in making a decision with that. I would also encourage you to make sure that you get a copy of your building's emergency plan as it relates to hurricanes, so you understand what services you can and can't expect if you're staying during a hurricane, because some of the buildings may have to turn down the cooling towers, they will be shutting elevator services down, you won't have valet services, the security teams that are in the buildings that will be there will be greatly reduced at that point in time. So understand what your building's hurricane plan is all about. Your buildings have those plans ready to go right now.
Great. Dan, I can't thank you enough. As always, we've never had a serious problem, thank God, over the summers or the hurricane season. Dan is amazing. He's on top of it. His crest, the best staff we've ever seen. And what we've decided to do is, in terms of renovation, construction on the island, we're going to keep it to a minimum until after next season to make sure that there's not more interference with the island and what's going on because of the access on the roadway work going on. So we're going to try to help you by maintaining as little as possible in terms of interference with your normal lifestyle. But please, Listen to Dan. As he said, the most important thing is check with your buildings. Each building has their own policy, and you should follow it and listen to them, and obviously use a lot of common sense. Dan, I can't thank you enough.
Thank you, Mr. Shaw.
I must tell you, there is so much going on here. It's hard to even keep track of everything. But I want to introduce you to Arlene. By the way, Arlene has been with us for a number of years, and she's actually moved up in the ranks, so to speak, and she's heading up our communication. She's heading up all of our graphics, keeps the island up to date on what's going on with everything on the island, and does all the graphic work that's truly amazing. And I don't know how she keeps up with it, because she's got to oversee spa, food and beverage, C&E, et cetera. So, good afternoon. I know you have a lot to talk about, but before we even get into some of those things that are happening on the island, something very exciting is happening in the city, which benefits all of you on the island. And we're going to be sending out a notice on this in the next week that the city has implemented what's called Freebie. And you can go to your app store, put an app on your phone, and it's called Freebie. And in essence, what that is, it's a free, call it Uber service for a better word. It will come to your door, pick you up, and take you wherever you want to go within the city of Aventura for free. And then when you're done shopping, let's say you're at Whole Foods or Fresh Market, you call, again, you hit the app, it'll come pick you up and take you home. And this has been implemented by the city, and they're electronic vehicles, so they won't be using gas. It's a green program that we're doing in the city. But what we wanted to do is, in addition to the bus service we have, this is more door-to-door type of service. And it's being done now in a number of different cities around the state. Yes. And we started it. It just opened up, and I will tell you, it's a major success so far. So download the app free. It's called Freebie. Arlene, you'll send it out. And just poke the button, go downstairs to your concierge, and somebody will come to pick you up, take you wherever you want to go, and it is 100% free. So now let's talk about all the events that C&E has coming up.
We have some great events coming up. Not only C&E is having some great events, we also have some great F&B events, as well as some tennis events. If you haven't seen our quarterly calendar, this is our new calendar. It'll go 3 months out in advance, so you can prepare a little bit.
And where do we get that?
This was sent to all the buildings. It's in the POA front desk. It's at tennis. It's in the Island Grill. It's all over. So you can grab one anywhere. On June 11th, we have the great C&E event, Latin Night Under the Stars. It's only $15 per person, and it's at the Island Club pool. You'll get some great Latin-style food, some great great music happening. They got a live DJ. They'll have some dancing. You'll be able to eat, dance, and share some great times with your friends. It's from 6:30 to 9:30, so it's going to be a great night. Don't miss it. Make your reservations today. On June 12th, we have a great dive-in movie and dinner, which is also by the pool. It's a family-oriented event. It's going to be playing Goonies, which is a great movie if you haven't seen it. The kids will really enjoy it. It's from 7 to 11. It's also featuring food. And it's the dinner and the movie is only $35 per person. And then we move along to our July 4th event from 12 to 4 p.m. It's going to be a barbecue celebration by the Island Club pool. And we also have a fun Thanksgiving in July on July 22nd from 6:30 to 10 p.m. There'll be a lot more information coming on those events, in the future. But we also have a great tennis event, which is Breakfast at Wimbledon, and it goes from, it starts at 9 a.m. and it's a great tennis event, and you get to, participate in some round robin and some fun camaraderie with your tennis friends.
Now, I do want to add one thing to the 4th of July. A lot of people have asked whether the city is doing the fireworks this year, and they are. So there will be fireworks. You could probably see them here from the island, but if not, if you go around the golf course like we have in the past, that would be the same thing. So at this point now, there will be fireworks scheduled for the July 4th weekend in addition to what we'll be doing here on the island.
That's wonderful. It's going to be a wonderful night.
It will, and it'll be great to get back to a little bit of excitement again and getting people and friends together again.
Mm-hmm.
What's happening in food and beverage?
Well, food and beverage, we have the Thanksgiving in July, and then we also have the dive-in movie with dinner. And we have our regular weekly nights, which you know, are very, very popular. We have the 2 dine for $89, which is the dinner for 2 for $89.
Yeah, that's the date night on Saturday
right,
night?
the date night on Saturday night. And then every Sunday we have a barbecue Sunday. We have also Latin night every Monday, which features margaritas and a whole Latin style menu. And we have every Tuesday night, we have the prime rib, which is amazing. And it's a very popular thing on the island. Every Wednesday we have sushi night. Thursday is fried chicken night. And we have Shabbat dinner on Friday. And every other Saturday we either have lobster or we have Alaskan king crab. Also on every Friday with the spa, we have a Facebook Live that features different subjects every Friday night that have to do with either fitness, wellness, or your well-being. It has a lot of information about some of the Venus Freeze and the Bio Station. So it's at 12:45 every Friday, and it's on Facebook Live. If you can't watch it at that moment, it's also going to be posted on YouTube, so you can
Great.
watch it at any time.
Great. And if anyone has any questions, they can always reach out to you, Arlene.
Absolutely.
And you'll send out notices with all the phone numbers and everything. But it's important that you do contact Arlene if you have any questions, any information you want, all this information. It's a lot to hear tonight, but again, by reaching out to Arlene, you'll get all this information that she's talking about. The only thing I would like to add is in terms of the food and beverage, some of the people have asked, because now COVID is a little bit more relaxed and we can start to get back to a little bit of norm, and we'll talk about some of the policy changes on the island. One of the things that we've asked you to do, if you're coming to dinner and you're either coming from the spa or you're coming from the tennis, you would change your shirt and put on a clean shirt or something and not wear the muscle shirts in the evening hours because it's a little bit more uncomfortable for the people around. But we would ask that you just help us out with that if you're coming in, because we do have people that come directly from tennis or from the spa. Carrie says the spa is not a problem, they're more civilized, but I'm not so sure about that. But anyway, be that as it may, we would appreciate it if you would wear a change of clothes if you come in. We're not worried about shorts, we're not worried about sneakers, but the shirt would help.
Thank you.
And anything else for us?
No, I think that's all we got going on right now. You'll get updates. You can also get, any updates. There's a Monday email that goes out every Monday, and it usually has what's going on for the week. You can get on the website calendar, and also you have the app. You can always scroll through and see what's going on.
Great. Well, thank you so much, and
Thank you.
congratulations on your new job.
Thank you.
And by the way, just when we thought it was safe to go back in the water, we forgot one item, or we'll say Carrie left out one of the more important things that we are doing in the spa. So Carrie, before you go home, please tell us what we didn't hear before.
I'm so sorry.
No, don't
but
be
I
silly.
appreciate it. So this is really exciting news. On the My Wellness app, there's always information on your homepage. And most people just go straight to the classes where it says new classes coming. But right above it, there's a new block, and it's called Class Collection. And what this is a new module from My Wellness or Technogym. All you do is touch, and a bunch of on-demand videos will come up. So if you want a quick 20, 25-minute or 15-minute workout or stretch, there's a million different combinations here. You will see it. All you have to do is touch it, and we will feature some of our instructors as well. So this week it's Jackie Eshett, who majority of you know, and all you do is tap it. It'll ask you to start the class. And there's a little brief introduction. It tells all about the class, what kind of a class it is, who the instructor is, how long it is, and then the video will begin. And so this is just an added feature. We know that everyone's on the go. You can even do this inside of the gym if you would like, but everyone's traveling now, thank goodness. And so you can take us with you. Just always know that we're here for you with our workouts as well. So Thank you, Bob, for giving me this extra time.
Oh.
We're very excited about this module.
And the best part about this is you don't get yelled at by the trainer, because the trainer doesn't know whether you're doing a great job or not. So you can go at your own pace, but this is fantastic, by the way. I've seen it and I've watched it, and it is on the go, but it is wonderful to do, and I thank you.
Great, thank you.
Okay. We've been asked a lot, what happens to Steve? Why don't we see Steve enough on the TV show? And mainly because Steve is a very busy man. And of course, he likes to travel and go on his trips and such to visit his family. But we got him here today because we do have a lot to talk about. We've had Carrie discuss the spa updates. We've had C&E talked about with Arlene. We had Dan tell us about hurricane preparedness. But probably one of the biggest questions we do get on the island is, now the pandemic is coming to an end, hopefully, or at least a little bit more safely to handle, what do we do on the island? What will the policy changes be? And being that this is your island, you run it for us, and it's your decisions, tell us some of the things that we should be expecting over the next couple of months in terms of policies that may start to change that we're looking into.
Well, that's wonderful. First of all, I'm so happy to be back with you. It just feels so natural because of how many times that we met and were able to do videos over the last 14 months, and it's been wonderful and it's been effective. And I'm really glad you talked to all the people that really get things done around the island. And so I'd just first like to start off by saying thank you to all of the directors of the different departments that have just done a great job for the community. And thank you for the board for supporting us and allowing us to do what we needed to do to create a safe environment. And you know, it's really an interesting time. You know, and you and I have had some conversations about this as we transition into more normalcy. We've had such great patronage from the community in food and beverage and in tennis, you know, and in the spa and the fitness area and so on and so forth. So everybody's just going and going and going. And now for things to transition into some type of normalcy, some things are going to stay and some things are going to evolve. Like, I don't think that we'll ever get away from YouTube and social media, you know, as a form of training and as a form of communication. And as we've seen recently with the transition to a creative department, we're putting our resources more towards those things where people want us to meet them there, and that's how they want to be updated. So as we continue to transition, I think one of the things that is a great challenge for us, and maybe you guys have all heard this, is basically labor. Now, we as a business have not had as much turnover as what I've heard from other businesses, and that has to do with the policies that you and the board supported with taking care of our staff, you know, during this period. But as we now expand our hours of operation, it becomes a challenge with the people that we have, because we still are hiring new people, right? So from a security perspective and a food and beverage perspective, we have positions open. And so as we expand our hours, we need more people to fill those positions. But it's also a very interesting time because we're closely monitoring how many people are here and how many people are not here, because normally this would be our slow period. And while we see a trend of declining covers or people patronizing different areas, we're still fairly busy. So we don't want to overhire. We're trying to walk that fine line, you know, between doing the right thing and still providing the services. And so from a community perspective, I'm sure you talked about C&E events are starting to ramp up a little bit more. You know, we had a function, a private function in this ballroom yesterday. We're starting to get more requests for that, you know, and so I think, you know, in this conversation, we should probably talk a little bit about the projects, when we think this project is going to get started. So for those people that maybe had been putting off wanting to have a private party, we have some assurances for them now that we can still do something like that into the end and maybe the beginning of next year.
So we've talked about, you know, obviously increasing some of the capacities that we have on the island, whether it be in the spa, whether it be the restaurant, mask policies. We pretty much promoted that throughout the island. But you said something interesting, and we want to go on to it about it. That was the construction and the capital improvements that we've been talking about on the island. And I think what you said is that right now, due to the construction of the road work, probably this building will be available. When I say this building, the clubhouse and the pool area will be available to us until most likely March of 2022. So that gives people plenty of time if they want to book their parties, Christmas parties, etc. This will be available for usage. But tell us a little about where we are with some of our capital projects, because there's a lot of them going on.
Well, you talked about some of the things that are domino effects for us. Obviously, we don't have control over the water and sewer project that's coming down to our doorstep and our front door and then going to come into the community. And that has an impact on other internal projects that we would start or begin with. And so, you know, we have regular capital projects and then we have big construction projects. And so let's talk about the big construction projects. The construction committee, Mr. Shelley and I have been working with Amicon and the EOA, the great design of the renovation of the Island Club that we showed you all in December, you know, to get it priced and detailed and to look at the scope. Obviously, we have some challenges that we have to address. Anybody that's seen what's going on with inflation and the pricing in the market, you know, understands what it is that we have to deal with. We're going to be giving an update to the board on that at our meeting. I believe it's the 16th. So anybody that wants to tune into that Zoom call can get some more finite detail. But that project, I would say, is probably 3 or 4 months behind what we thought the original schedule was going to be, just because we're trying to really define the scope so that we don't have change orders on the back end, so that the pricing of it is more of a known than an unknown, and that we have the right contingency in there, because it's such a unique project on this particular little island. Okay. In addition to that, we are finishing up on a project that has taken us a lot longer than we thought, which was the exit gate, you know, on your way out, the little guard shack that I like to call it. I know Dan doesn't like it when I call it a shack. It's a station and not a shack. But, you know, it's really done a great job of managing the pedestrian traffic into the island and making that area safer. So we have the shack in, we're hooking up the electronics to it. The gate is going to be installed. If you've been going out of here at 10 o'clock night, you know the gate now is activated. Thank you all for nobody hitting it so far. Let's keep it that way going forward. You know, so that's a completion of a project. For the tennis community at the last board meeting, a drainage improvement project was approved for courts 9, 10, 11, and 12. And so I think within the next month we'll have those areas repaired, as well as a few other things in the tennis area. But you know, the big projects are moving forward, and then we also have improvements that we're working on for the upstairs grill terrace. You know, putting some kind of an additional cooling up there, having a denser pull-down shade that can handle certain wind forces, as well as we get a lot of complaints about the sunset glare in there. We're going to put a denser fabric in there, you know, where you don't necessarily need your Foster Grants every time to sit there and enjoy your cocktail and have a meal. The other things that we're planning and we're looking at hard over the summer are further improvements to the deli. We thank everybody for their support to the deli, but we have a couple other things that we have as ideas that we'd like to add to that.
Could you share any of them with us?
Well, I can. I mean, one of them includes ice cream. I think you should share that.
I will definitely share that.
Everybody knows that you love ice cream.
I do love ice cream.
You know, but it's a proposal to expand the office space. And for those of you that have been here for a while, when we did the renovation in 2017 to the grill, that area that's underneath was intended to be an expansion of office space, but we didn't have the funds then. And so we're going to hopefully enclose that area for office space, and that'll allow us to move the tennis shop so that it has tennis specific area in there, so the two spaces between the deli and the tennis are not commingled or sharing a space. You'll have a deli that has expanded services, including ice cream, and then you'll have a dedicated tennis shop, and then the POA offices can be expanded to accommodate our team. Because right now our team is kind of in a couple different places across property, and with this office expansion now we'll be more consolidated, and it will be, better for people to communicate and be aware of what's going on. The other thing that was exciting, and we did make a presentation to this to the board, is that Malcolm, as part of his overall scheme, had proposed an improvement to the tennis terrace area. And now with the deli and the popularity of the deli, we need more shade out there. So if you go out there, we have those little portable cabanas. Next to those portable cabanas, there's 2 big flower beds. Those flower beds will be converted to cabanas that will match the style of the existing building, terracotta roof and whatnot. And those will serve as areas to support the C&E events, the regular day-to-day deli, a place to eat sandwiches. Because when you're out there and you're sitting under just an umbrella, you got to kind of move around to get into the shade, because of the way the sun moves. Okay, and so those are exciting. And I'm sure with Carrie having been here, you probably talked about BioStation and some other things of that nature. So I don't want to double dip on somebody else, but there's a lot going on.
No, there is, and I have to say thank you to you and your team, because this is now pretty much halfway through the year.
Yeah.
And we had no idea what to expect for this year. Budgets were put together, and of course, budgets meant nothing during pandemic.
Yeah.
However, to the credit of you and your team, the island at this stage in its year, financially, is in the best position we've been in probably 8 or 10 years. Everything is going as we not only expected, but better than we had expected. Our reserves are stronger than we've had in years. And this is all thanks to what you and your team have accomplished, because it has been challenging at the best. We know that. It's been almost impossible to meet a budget and then figure out what to do with it. And of course, now we go through the same transition all over again.
Yeah.
Now people are starting to open up. They are starting to go back. And now we have to revamp the budgets all over again to facilitate how many will be here, how many won't be here. So to your credit, what you guys have done is amazing in that respect.
Wow.
And I don't know how you keep up with it.
Well, we're all a team, and so the credit is to you, the finance committee, and my team is in the fray day in and day out. And I too want to say thank you to them, because they've been flexible and responsive to opportunities. And I think the other thing too is that we're getting more communication from the residents on what they want or what they would like to see, and that points us in the right direction. But Thomas and Deborah and each of the directors, they've been very conservative and effective. And the efficiencies that were created in 2020 to help us manage through this, they've kind of stayed. And then when you add the revenue on top of that, it's a win-win for any business. But I'm grateful and humbled by the creativity and the commitment of the team to the community, and the community to the team. And I have to say to the residents, thank you for being kind, thoughtful, supportive, and patient. And now is the time to be patient. As you know, recently we've been talking about expanded bar hours, on to later just in the bar. And so there's another example. Give us a week or two, we'll have something in place for that, and we'll move forward. But we are erring on the side of conservative expansion at this point,
Yes.
so that we can get those results like you're talking about.
Well, you raised something very interesting, and it's what the people want. And a couple of months ago, we had a board meeting, and one of our board of directors, Alan Matus, raised a question: what do the people really want?
Yeah.
Do we really know what they want? And as you recall, a couple of years ago, we did a survey for capital improvements, is meaning, do we need a new pool? Do we need a new clubhouse? Do we need new snack bars? But we are getting prepared to take to the board for approval a survey, not so much of capital improvements as much as service requirements. What do the people want out of service when they come into these departments? What specifically, what level of service do they want? What quality do they want? What type of events do they want? So it's more of the operational survey. And we're doing that because that, going along with the fact that we're renovating so many of these areas, we want to make sure that whatever the usage is of these areas, they will encompass what the residents want. So over the next couple of months, we will be hopefully doing that survey. We'll get a better feel for what the residents themselves want. And of course, remember, on an island where you have 4,000 or 5,000 people, you have a very diverse group of people, and you have some people that want certain types of food and other different types, different events. So we want to make sure that we give something to everybody.
Yeah.
And I understand you're going to be starting that program hopefully in the next couple of weeks, if
Yeah.
everything goes as we planned.
And it's such an important thing, and you know, it came out of the combined board workshop with the presidents, and we are presenting, you know, the survey. But the other thing, and it just popped into my head when you talked about how many residents that we have here, is that by the end of April, I mean, the residents understand that we collect an initiation fee off of all the real estate transactions. And I get a lot of questions about pricing, what's going on, and so on and so forth. So the community should know that we've already had over 65 real estate transactions through the end of May in 2021. Now, a typical average year is that for the whole year, right? So, you know, and I believe the number was there were 240 units available on Williams Island about 9 months ago, and now there's something like 150.
No,
So the pace,
and let me just correct you
if
on
you
that.
got the right number, I'd appreciate it.
Yes, we started out with 250 units for sale. There are now 110 units for sale.
Okay.
And on the entire island, there are only 6 units left for rent. The
Perfect.
increases have been so amazing that
Yeah.
the demand has so exceeded the quantities of availability.
Yeah.
But it is amazing when you think about it, how many sales have taken place and how the pricing has gone up, which is a very, very positive thing, because
Yes.
one of the reasons we're doing all these improvements is because when you buy a unit here on the island, you're buying lifestyle. So it's not so much your bedroom, your living room, your furniture, it's your pool area, it's the restaurants, it's the tennis. And I think all of these things combined has changed the whole atmosphere of what's happening
Yeah.
here.
And I appreciate you helping me out with that, because I've got a lot of numbers flying around in my head. But the way I was going to tie this in was to say to the community, the survey couldn't be at a better time, because over a period of 4 years, if you have 240 units change, that's a little more than 10% of your island. And so you can put your finger on the pulse
Yes.
of what the current residents want and what the people that are coming in would like to see. And so I applaud the board for supporting us, you know, under your leadership in going that direction, because, you know, it's sometimes it's as simple as asking what you want, but when you have 5,000 people, it's hard to
a lot of opinions.
understand the theme,
Lot of
as far
opinions.
as that's concerned, right?
So anything else exciting new? All good.
I just feel blessed that we have a team that comes to work energized. The island, I don't want to jinx ourselves, seems to be happier and more at peace than it has been in my 5 years. I can't believe it's been 5 years now that I've been here.
Oh, I can. I believe it.
Yeah, you would, because you hear it from me more often. But it's a really, really exciting time for our community, and it's because we've positioned ourselves and we've had the courage to move forward with improving amenities and add services. And I'm excited to keep, you know, partnering with you and the board to do that with our team.
Well, you know, you mentioned partnering with the board, but I'm just a face of the board, but I'm only one of 13 people. And I will tell you, we have an amazing board of directors for this island, and each and every one of the board members that we have are so engaged and have the island at heart. And sometimes we have some contentious meetings, we have some arguments, we have some good discussion and
I don't know
banter
what
back
you're
and
talking
forth.
about.
I know. But I will tell you that I couldn't do it without the support of what we have on our board. And the guys that we have together, and the women, are fantastic. And I can't say enough about our board of directors. And each board member comes from a building, so we get the perspective of every building and what their needs are, because every building has a different demographics, and it has a different personality. So you're blending 13 personalities into one. But I can't say thank you enough to you and what you've all done. And please, anything you want to add?
No, I think that's perfect. And I personally love the fact that we challenge each other in these environments, because that's how we get better. And we've got a great architectural review committee, a great CME committee.
Yes, we do.
You know, and they keep pushing the envelope, and you know, off we go. But the teamwork and the camaraderie, I just couldn't be more grateful for that. And
Well,
you
we have
know?
an amazing island and such, but I want to say thank you to everybody. Please be cautious.
Yeah.
I know the pandemic is letting up. I know there's still a lot of people that have not been vaccinated. Most of our staff has been vaccinated. If you need vaccinations, please let Arlene know in her office. We do have access to vaccinations on the island, not on the island, but doctors that will take
Right.
care of it. But if not, please, if you're exposed to areas, please wear a mask if you choose to. It's not mandatory, but we ask common sense prevail for the island.
Yeah.
We've tried to keep it safe for everybody. I think we've done an amazing job, thanks to Steve and his team. And I just want to say thank you to Steve, to the board of directors, and to the entire staff. And have a wonderful, wonderful holiday.